Hey guys, back again. I know where the Freddy claw's at. I'm not gonna worry about it. So anyway, I'm back, guys. Sorry about delay on some of the pitches. This week's been kind of chaotic at work. It's the holidays and all that stuff, so been kind of stressful here and there, and just wiped out during the week. So and had things going on last weekend and stuff like that. So, but now I'm back in action and continuing with the Nightmare on Elm Street pitch. So if you can watch the other ones, they're on the channel. I actually have them. I've started doing playlists and stuff like that, so you can watch all of them on the playlist. Just look at the playlist. You'll see Nightmare on Elm Street pitches. So far, we've done a pitch for following up the original movie. I've done a pitch for following up the second movie, which actually ended up turning into two pitches there. And then I did one following up the Dream Warriors. So this one will be a pitch for following up Dream Master, which of course in the original storyline followed up with Dream Child. So we're going to go ahead and avoid that one right now. And we'll just kind of go over just to recap Dream Master. The concept in this one, we had the survivors of the Dream Warriors, Kirsten, Kincaid, and Joey. They're in high school, back in high school, they're out of the hospital. And things are fine. Freddy's dead and all that stuff, but Kirsten keeps pulling them into dreams and feeling like he's going to come back, and keeps worrying about it. And to the point that it eventually, of course, with a dog pissing on his grave, Freddy does come back, and basically one by one kills off the Dream Warriors. And then Kirsten ends up giving her dream power to Alice, this new character. And unfortunately, because of that, now Alice has those powers, and then ends up getting a whole new slew of victims for Freddy to take out in fun and interesting ways. It is a pretty good movie overall. There's some good scenes in there, some good deaths. There's some goofy ones too, like the karate one. That was very goofy, but the one with the cockroach, the little roach motel thing, that was pretty genius in terms of the filming on that. And there's also a great scene in there too where her and Dan are taking this truck, and they just keep coming around the corner. It just keeps repeating them coming back around. They're getting a loop and all that. So anyway, not going in for a full review, just giving you some context. So by the end of the movie, it's basically her and Dan, I think, that are left. Dan gets injured in a car accident, and there's a whole Dr. Seuss. And so she talks about when she was a kid that there would be the story of the Dream Master who controls all the good dreams, which I think was actually a good context in terms of how to even Robert Englund had said that he thought it would have been a good ending for the Dream Master beating him, and she beats him, and all the souls go to heaven and all that. They're free from Freddy's reign and all that stuff. Excuse me. A lot of talking today. I had to teach my improv, so. So anyway. So that brings us to, what if we brought Freddy back again, because we have to keep on making on money. This one made money. We need to make more. So, obviously in the other one, and Dream Child, he starts haunting the unborn baby of Alice, Jacob, yeah, that's his character. And so that's what they do with that one. I don't want to go that route just yet. I feel like that could turn into this could end up turning into a 2-movie thing, but I feel like it was just too quick for Alice to be this kind of sweet, shy girl to, and now I'm pregnant. It's just and granted, maybe some years have survived. It just kind of, and that was the premise of the movie, so I understand they were going for it, but it was just I feel like she was super mousy and not super confident and daydreaming a lot. So to go from that to yep, shacked up with that hot guy. Not there's anything wrong with that. If shit happens, whatever. But anyway, so we pick up, and she's living her life. She's beaten Freddy. There's no more Freddys. Her and Dan start dating. Of course, they get a couple more friends and all that stuff. I wouldn't have killed Dan off so quick either. That was one thing. I was I get what they were going for, and it was a pretty epic death. Probably one of the best ones in Nightmare on Elm Street 5, I think. Probably their best death scene. But I try to keep him around for a little bit. They have this tendency to just like, hey, this character is introduced, let's kill him in the next movie. It's like, or you could let the character. I mean, that's the thing. That's whatever you want to say about the Scream series. They've kept their characters around, for a while through several movies. So it's like Sidney Prescott doesn't get killed. So it's like, that's and sometimes that can be like, okay, God, can we kill this character already? But at the same time, I get at the same time they have a tendency to just be like, we don't need this character anymore. But like I said, we already killed off Kirsten. We already killed off Nancy. Let's just stop for a little bit. So anyway, we're going into a Nightmare on Elm Street 5. I wouldn't call it the Dream Child, but we'd have maybe another Freddy Returns or something. I don't know what necessarily to call it. So anyway, Alice and Dan are dating. Maybe it's around, getting towards the prom time or something like that. Getting ready to graduate and stuff like that. Because I think that's what they did in the fifth movie. That's right. The fifth movie, they were graduating. So, okay. So, she it's been a few years, I guess. Excuse me. I had Five Guys, so, all that greasy food. Stop it. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking to my Pepsi can. Anyway, back to me. So anyway, they're having a graduation and they have a good time. They have a party, so similar to the beginning there. And let's just say, for shits and giggles, that she does start to have some dreams again. And they're not Freddy dreams yet, but there's definitely a hint that, maybe he's not fully dead yet. Maybe there's a chance he's coming back and he needs to kind of infiltrate these dreams again. But she doesn't fully, like I said, he's not fully formed yet. He's not fully in the full Freddy form yet. So he's got to take some time to come back. And that's everything with these pitches is like, how do we bring him back? I just imagine these movies deals. All right, how do we bring him back this time? Well, we had a dog piss on him last time. Maybe we can bring... so it's like, that's the same thing here. I'm like, all right, well, how do we bring him back? So, as you can see, it is hard to pitch movies, guys. That's just getting this... I had a basic idea in my head, but now it's like, what are we doing with this? Just don't mind me rambling. This is how a pitch works. Well, I'm sure they had several people pitching things instead of just one guy in his office doing it, like I'm doing here. So anyway, so basically we need to have Freddy back. So somewhere the other Freddy comes back. Somehow Palpatine has returned. We'll just do it that way, sync it up in post. But no, so he starts, getting infiltrating the dreams. Maybe his dream power is starting to come back. He was defeated. He lost all the souls or whatever, so he's got to be on a mission to, maybe you can tie in with the whole kind of like dream demon thing that they had in Freddy's Dead a little bit without the goofy sperm-looking demons that they were. But I always feel like going into that dream world, kind of like I did in the last pitch, but like go into that dream world a little bit. Like, what's going on in that dream world? How's that? What are the rules specifically? And I would say that like for these last couple of years, she's been in that dream world a little bit. So when she's dreaming, she's not dreaming about Freddy. She's just dreaming to make sure, kind of a little check-in thing. Like, I'm going to check in just to make sure there's no bad stuff going on in here. And then I'm just going to go back to dreaming easily. So she's still keeping her post as the dream master. But at the same time, Freddy's trying to find himself some new victims. Because that's what Freddy's always about. At the end of the day, he's a serial killer, basically. So he's trying to, he's got to find some more victims. That's how they get by, right? So eventually, after a little bit, she takes her eye off the prize. And, she's going to the prom and all that stuff. And everybody's excited because before they graduate, they have to go to the prom one day. So we maybe have a prom scene and all that. But one of their friends doesn't show up to prom, and they're like, "Oh, she was supposed to come," and it turns out that she fell asleep because she's been overstudying too much. Someone who's just not like the bookworm girl and the other one, but someone who's just been studying too much to the point that they're stressing. They're stressing about not passing the final or something like that, not being able to graduate. So they're stressing all that to the point that they fall asleep. And the dream people have been telling Freddy he has to, just has to reach through someone who's just really depleted, someone who's just really got nothing else on their mind and is going to start fading into his dream world, and then he can regain his power. But he has to kill that first victim before he can do it. Before he can start to really gain it, he has to get those souls, the souls of the children, basically. So Freddy does that. He basically kills this person that was supposed to go to the prom with them, and in some gruesome way, with his claws, obviously. But starts messing with them. Maybe he comes off as like, some guidance counselor. Maybe starts out, maybe with just as Robert Englund, like as a guidance counselor. You're never going to pass this. You're never going to do it. You're never going to amount to nothing. And then, slits his throat or something like that with the knives or something. And then maybe he's got some. If you want to go with funny Freddy, you just go with some cheesy line there. I'm sure I could think of one, but yeah, Mm-hmm. Looks like the grade, and looks like he didn't make the grade, or something. I don't know, something like that. Listen, I'm not, I'm a writer occasionally. So, anywho, so obviously this triggers Alice to be like, oh shit, Freddy's back. We have to stop him again somehow. So she knows she's got to go in the dream. She knows she's got all those powers still. Like I say, because that's something they didn't really tie into too much in the fifth one. Like, it felt like, remember those powers I got from those other Dream Warriors? Nah, those are gone. No, I mean, they kind of did, but it was not well. That movie was very rushed. But like, I think if they'd taken their time, they could have made that work a little better. But anyway, so one by one, we start having more of the characters here in the fifth movie that start to dream about Freddy, and then Freddy's starting to get some more victims and some more victims in other gruesome ways. Her friends are dying again, so Alice is just like, okay, because he specifically is not going after Alice because he knows right away. He's like, okay, I can't go after Alice right now. I'm not strong enough. He knows he's got to get stronger, so he's going after these weaker victims to build up, because he says, I need to be strong as I can possibly be, or this Dream Master is going to beat me again. So Freddy's even maybe a little bit on the edge. He knows, like, okay, if I get beat this time, I may not survive this. I may not be able to come back to this dream world, real world, any of that stuff. I need to basically focus on, building up to the big fight, the final fight, the final boss. She's the final boss. I have to defeat Alice, So anyway, then he finally decides, okay, after killing several of these victims and all that, in gruesome, horrible nightmare ways. And like I said, I would love to sit here and think about nightmares that we could do, but that's a lot of legwork that I don't have a lot of time to do with. So they're just little short pitches, as I said. So anyway, comes down, he does go after Dan, and much like the fourth movie, maybe he gets scarred up a little bit, but Alice shows up. She's ready. She's like, I've beaten you before. I can beat you again. And he says, not this time. I'm stronger. And then they can have like a nice little final showdown fight, similar to the end of the fourth one, but like this time, she's got to really beat him down. She's got to really beat him down in terms of being able to truly like stop him for now. This is it. You're going down, Freddy. There's gonna be no more movies after this. And so she also finds out that she's like, okay, not only do I need to stop Freddy Krueger, in order to stop him, I need to stop these dream demons who gave him this power in the first place. So in addition, Dan is okay, and she does actually drag him into the dreams because she has that power that Kirsten gave her, and they go together to not only stop Freddy, but they have to take out the dream demons. Because you take out the dream demons, you take away some of his powers. And basically his things that controlled is the dreams, controlling the dreams, and the souls of the children. Those are the two things you have to stop. They've done the souls of the children before. They never tried to stop the dream world from happening. So, not that dreams themselves won't happen, but some of these horrible killing nightmares will stop. So it's a big showdown. They kill the dream demons, who actually look a lot better than they did in Freddy's Dead, as I said. They look more creepy, and they are a force. But they are able to stop them. They stop the dream demons. Freddy, realizes he's going to get weaker and weaker, does his best to fight them, but they finally are able to defeat him. The souls of these new people that he's killed are free as well, and Freddy just kind of whisks down to a, he's flattened, he's destroyed, and maybe just straight up blows up or something, whatever you want to do with it. But like, yeah, that's how Freddy truly dies in this dream world. Cool. So I think that's about the usual 15 minutes I've been doing on these. Sometimes these get longer, sometimes it just depends on how much of a pitch I have. But yeah, that's kind of just an off the top of my head basic idea of what I would do if I was to follow up the fourth one and not go the Dream Child route. Now, you could even have a tease at the end where maybe she's, pregnant or something like that. But I think it was just one of those things like, I just feel like, Plus, I don't know, the Jacob kid, nothing against the actor, but that kid was fucking annoying. And it's not even that he was annoying. So I've seen that actor in several things. He was a kid, I think, that was really annoying to Sam Neill's character in Jurassic Park. So it's like, it's just that kid. Like, this kid just plays annoying characters. I've seen him on sitcom. I just like, he's just annoying. Nothing against the actor. I'm sure he's a nice kid. But like, it was just like, this kid's annoying. I don't want anything to do with this kid. So yeah, cool. So that is the pitch for a Nightmare on Elm Street 5. Freddy's Back, whatever you want to call it. And that is how I would end the Nightmare series if we were to end it there at 5. So that means there have been 5 movies. This is it. Alice finally able to finish them off. Dream Master rules again. And the dream world is under control once again. Cool. So that just leaves me to do a pitch for Halloween, or not Halloween. That gives me a pitch for Nightmare on Elm Street 6, which would follow up the Dream Child events. And then we'd have a follow-up of Freddy's Dead, which there was no original follow-up. It was just New Nightmare. And then we'll have a New Nightmare, and then we'll go to the remake and try to make something out of that. So that's, 4 more pitches to go? Cool. So if I think of some ideas on that, guys, I'll try to do some during the week. This week, if I have the energy from my overnight job. But yeah, this will be my pitch for this week. We also have the Stargirl review. Check that out. And hope you enjoyed this pitch, guys. And like and subscribe. Let's keep getting those subscribers. 22 is awesome. Let's keep building. And I hope you enjoyed this, guys. Have a good night.